We are starting first right now here on the WHAS 11 team with brand new information about the mass shooting today at a Georgia high school. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Doug Proffitt. The 14-year-old suspect is a student and is now in custody. He will be tried as an adult, according to Georgia authorities. Police say he used an AR platform-style weapon in this shooting. 2 students and 2 teachers were killed today. They are 14-year-old Mason Shermerhorn and 14-year-old Christian Angulo. The teachers who died are Richard Aspinwell, who taught math and coached football at that school, and Christina Irami, also a math teacher. ABC's Doreen Shaw reports tonight the FBI says they interviewed the shooter. He was known to them when he was 13.
Tonight, a vigil in Winder, Georgia. Flowers, prayers, and tears. Just a few miles from the scene of the latest mass school shooting in America.
May evil in all the world know that especially in this place this night, we say no.
It happened at Appalachia High School, about an hour outside Atlanta. Law enforcement rushing to the scene, students running for cover. Sophomore Alexander Romero recording this as authorities led students from a darkened classroom to safety.
Let's move with purpose, come on.
It was a small little ball of us, like all holding each other, and I remember like my friends crying. They were all scared, and then 2 police officers came in with their guns, telling us not to move, that it's still not safe.
Parents racing to make sure their kids were okay.
Last time you spoke to him was this morning, saying, you know, have a good day, that kind of thing. It's different.
A prayer circle formed in the end zone. 2 students and 2 teachers killed. 9 others, 1 teacher and 8 students injured, rushed to the hospital. The accused suspect, just 14 years old, surrendering without a struggle.
The shooter is in custody. His name is Colt, that's C-O-L-T, Gray. He is a 14-year-old student here at the school.
Tonight, the FBI says it received anonymous tips about the suspect in May of 2023, but there was no probable cause to take any action. For the county sheriff, it hits home.
I never imagined that I would be speaking to the media in my career over something that happened today, the pure evil that happened today.
As another community tries to heal. Doreen Shaw, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Many trying to heal tonight. U.S. Congressman Morgan McGarvey of Louisville responding to the shooting in a statement to social media saying in part, "My heart is shattered for the families and friends of kids who won't be coming home from school today and for yet another community ripped apart by grief and the trauma of gun violence." Right now with the night team, we want to take you to our other top story. Back searching in one of the biggest of Bardstown's unsolved murder mysteries. FBI investigators returning here to Nelson County, looking for the remains of Crystal Rogers. Police confirming that's their focus after getting a recent tip. Our Sky 11 drone showing you the large search site right here. You see the home there at the bottom of your screen and all those large FBI blue tents set up on the property. That's the search zone. This property in Cox's Creek is connected to the Houck family. Now, this is at least the second day that they've been searching, we learned today. The property once belonged to the grandmother of Nick and Brooks Houck. Brooks, who is the chief suspect in this case, and 2 other men are in jail waiting for their trials. WHAS 11 night team's Taylor Woods and photojournalist Elijah McKenzie talked to a concerned Bardstown resident tonight.
The Sky 11 drone shows you the large-scale search operation set up by the FBI in Nelson County. The sheriff confirming they are looking for the remains of Crystal Rogers. Her disappearance is one of Bardstown's top unsolved mysteries. Residents who didn't want to be seen on camera are talking about the new search.
I'm concerned because now I'm afraid they don't have the evidence they feel like they need.
FBI investigators have spent the last 2 days looking for evidence at a property that was owned by the grandmother of Brooks and Nick Houck until 2017. With a trial now pending for these 3 men charged in the case, most Bardstown residents we talked to hopes this means justice is coming sooner for Rogers' family.
I mean, this has just been going on for so long, and I can't imagine what her family has been going through.
It's been nearly 10 years and Crystal's body still hasn't been found.
This is still an ongoing. We have not found the body, and it's
what we're here to do.
We talked to Louisville attorney Nick Mudd of Mudd Legal Group. He's a former assistant Commonwealth's attorney. He's been following this case and its arrest closely.
Having the body is of utmost importance so that a forensic exam can be done, which kind of lets you piece together the past of what actually happened to this young lady.
Mudd said a trial can still happen without Rogers' body being found.
A person starts innocent until proven guilty, and they have to prove what happened, and it becomes a very high bar and very difficult for a prosecutor to prove what actually happened without having those remains.
People here are wondering if any more arrests are going to be made in this case.
Do we really have, everyone in custody that we need to have in custody?
She hopes investigators find the evidence that brings closure for Crystal's family.
They've been in our prayers for so long and continue to be, and we just hope that we get some resolution to this.
It would be the final part of this puzzle. In Nelson County, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 night team on your side.
Our full interview with attorney Nick Mudd is posted on the WHAS11 YouTube page, and another search is set to take place tomorrow at the property on Whitesides Road. WHAS11 News will be there, bringing you full coverage right here tomorrow. Louisville Metro Police turning up the warnings today. They are still looking to make more arrests in connection with 3 separate street takeovers in Metro Louisville this weekend. This video by Brian Smith, recorded right there that night, shows several people jumping on the LMPD cruiser right near the entrance to Iroquois Park. Police today releasing photos of this man, which shows him right on top of that police cruiser. Interim Chief Paul Humphrey saying he caused over $1,000 of damage to that police car. Even car enthusiasts we talked with today say these street takeovers go way too far.
Stop traffic. And it's annoying, and it's just like, move out the way, please. Just go so we can go on with our business.
LMPD also did make 3 arrests after the takeover at Cox Park, but none have been made in the Portland and Russell neighborhood takeover. Anyone with information should call the anonymous tip line to help police. That's 574 LMPD. Also here at 11, LMPD says homicides in Louisville are now up nearly 9% from this time last year. According to the gun violence dashboard, there have been 109 homicides in the city, leading to 115 deaths. Most of those were from a shooting. However, overall shootings are down across the city. Interim Chief Paul Humphrey noting that victims in non-fatal shootings may later be involved in a homicide.
There's an increased likelihood that those victims or the participants in those non-fatal shootings are your later victims or suspects of homicide. So we want to make sure that we get to those people and we address those issues with just as much vigor as we do with homicides.
The chief explaining the cycle of violence underway in our community there. Humphrey says these shooting investigations are being constantly worked, even if it takes years to make an arrest. He says that community cooperation is a major key in helping officers solve these crimes quickly. All new in the race for the White House, a prominent Republican who is from a family long considered to be GOP royalty said today that she will be voting for and endorsing Kamala Harris, the Democrat, in the race for the White House. In North Carolina at Duke University, this is what Liz Cheney said about her decision.
As a conservative, as someone who believes in and cares about the Constitution, I have thought deeply about this, and because of the danger that Donald Trump poses, not only am I not voting for Donald Trump, but I will be voting for Kamala Harris in this election.
Big applause when she said that, as you heard. Cheney, the daughter of former Vice President Dick Cheney, has been a fierce critic of former President Donald Trump, and as a result, she was ousted from her long-held House seat in the 2022 Wyoming Republican primary. She joined several other high-profile Republicans in their endorsement of Kamala Harris, including more than 200 alumni of the Bush administration and presidential campaigns of Senators John McCain and Mitt Romney. And that includes Jimmy McCain, the son of the late senator, who says he is voting for Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance already responding to Liz Cheney's endorsement. At a rally in Arizona, he called Cheney's endorsement, saying it's the best thing that could have happened to Donald Trump.
Kamala Harris and Liz Cheney make very, very interesting partners. They get rich when America's sons and daughters go off to die. They get rich when America loses wars instead of winning wars. And they get rich when America gets weaker in the world. We want American strength, American security, and most importantly, peace.
Meantime, both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris are preparing for next week's debate in their own ways. Harris has done at least 2 mock debates. Donald Trump is meeting with policy advisors. The 90-minute debate will be hosted by ABC News. You'll see it at 9 p.m. from Philadelphia right here on September 10th, next Tuesday on WHAS 11. Happening news tonight on the night team, the long bridge debate and the frustration over the toll-free connection between Louisville and New Albany will soon be over, folks. That means the 3-year-long construction of the Sherman-Minton Bridge is set to end in mid-November. WHAS 11 night team's Alexandra Goldberg and photojournalist Levi Hammer are joining us live right now along the Ohio River in New Albany. And Alexandra, businesses in that town are certainly telling you that this day cannot come soon enough.
Yeah, Doug, this project is 1 year behind schedule, so there is so much excitement from business owners and employees. Just their reactions are so evident that they are ready for these bridge closures to be done with. I also heard today some skepticism, however, that construction will actually be done in November.
Riverfront businesses in New Albany, Indiana.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
Cannot wait for the Sherman-Minton Bridge to finish construction in mid-November.
I have been waiting for this day for 3 years.
Stevie Carper is the owner of the New Albany Sugar Shop.
This bridge construction is our final hurdle to get everybody to coming back downtown to downtown New Albany and checking out our historic downtown district.
The Indiana Department of Transportation announced that construction is in its 5th and final stage.
It's just been up and down with that bridge. I mean, it's in and out of construction all the time.
Quentin Schroeder of Bear City Winery says it's important to have a reliable, toll-free bridge.
I do think that having to pay a toll does kind of suck.
Bella Roma chef Stephen David agrees.
If the other bridges were not toll bridges, there probably wouldn't be nearly as much of an uproar about the Sherman-Minton having the closures and issues that it does.
Though there's an end in sight, businesses say they aren't confident the construction will end in mid-November.
I'm going to give them some grace period and say probably mid-December.
I'm sure it'll go back into construction again.
I try to be as much of a pragmatist as possible, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Store owners and employees shared the sentiment. It's a long time coming.
Let's just hope and pray that it does get done in November, and you know, it'll make everybody's life a lot easier.
But all they can do for now is wait.
The Sherman-Minton team says that all long-term closures are done, but there will be one more short-term closure next Friday affecting eastbound traffic. Live in New Albany, Alexandra Goldberg, WHAS 11 night team on your side.
All right, Alexandra, thank you very much. Well, don't get us wrong. We love those construction workers who did that project, and we are glad that they are safe after the long deal here. But this project is expected to add 30 more years of life to the 61-year-old Sherman-Minton Bridge that, as you know, connects Louisville and New Albany.